Good evening and many thanks for watching KTN. We're coming to you live from the Daima Towers right here in the heart of Gishu County. This building that we are in says that it continues to change the skyline of these county. But today we're talking about matters to do with education. Where are we in terms of education in this county, in Eldoret town? This is matters to do with state of education in Eldoret. On set with me, I have close to me, that is Anthony Cheriot-Sitiene, who is the Education, Technical Training, Gender, Social Protection and Culture CECM. Welcome on set, sir. And next to him, we have Professor Philip Raburu, who is the DVC Planning, Research and Extension in University of Eldoret. Welcome. And next to him, we have Mr. Charles Koech, who is the Chief Principal, Eldoret National Polytechnic, and he is also the National Vice Chair, Kenya Association of Technical Training Institutions, also known as CATI. And on my further left, that is Mr. Hilary Toom, who is the school leader, Nova Pioneer, Eldoret Boys. Gentlemen, welcome on set. It is a strong panel today as we talk about matters of education. And I will start with you, Bona CEC. When you talk about matters of education in this county, Eldoret, according to the governor, I had a conversation with him earlier. He said that Eldoret is considered to be a center of education for many reasons that do exist. And with that in mind, the county has gone ahead to construct admin blocks and 2 classrooms in primary schools across, public primary schools across the county. Why is that the case? It seems like education is close to the county.
Thank you very much. The Standard Group, Anthony Sitiene, CCM Education, Vocational Training, Gender and Culture. First, I want to thank this group, but I want to say that Uasin Gishu is placed to be a hub of education institutions ranging from ECD to higher levels of education. As a county, our mandate is restricted to ECD and vocational training. What we have done as a county since 2013 was through the assembly, we have embarked in a scheme of constructing 2 classrooms and 1 administration block for ECD learners, and the administration block is meant to facilitate the running of the institution.
And Professor Raburu, now, when you talk about matters to do with education in this county, we know University of Eldoret remains there as a key anchor of education in this county. Now, here we talk about matters to do with the innovation. And with the innovation, I'll go specific on agriculture, how the university is going big on innovation and value addition on food that is produced in this county, because we say Eldoret is the bread basket of this country. In terms of innovation on matters of agriculture and value addition, how key is the University of Eldoret on that?
Thank you very much, Mr. Seto, for having me here. Standing in for my Vice Chancellor, Professor Thomas Cheriot. And as you had said rightly, I'm in charge of planning, research and extension at the University of Eldoret. Now, coming to innovations, particularly in the different foods, you rightly said that as the University of Eldoret, we are located in the North Rift, which is the breadbasket of the country. And so we have a strong concentration in agriculture and biotechnology. And through that, we have had several innovations which are meant to increase the food production and to promote food production. And they run across several areas. Starting with wheat, we have had some 2 innovations to come up with 2 wheat varieties, which has been there for some time now, called Eldo Mavuno and Eldo Baraka. We've also had about 5 different species of beans that have also been developed so that we can have a higher bean production. We have also the most recent patents that we got around potatoes to produce potatoes that are high yielding and disease resistant. So we have Eldo Fanaka, Eldo BD and Eldo Amani. So, and several others in terms of food production. And apart from that, also from engineering point of view, we have different innovations on the some kind of machines that can be used for example, different types of dryers for drying different kind of foods, knowing very well that sometimes our place is very cold and you may have to dry foods to make sure that we reduce the post-harvest loss. We have bean threshing machine, chicken brooders, seed pelleting and coating, and several others, which are meant to increase our food production in Uasin Gishu and more so with Eldoret town. As you can see, most of our innovations are tagged Eldo because we really would like to be identified with our city of Eldoret. Thank you.
Yeah, and Prof, you've talked about cold, and I can attest that today is very cold. I hope everybody here had some tea to stay warm. And I come to you, Mr. Koech now. Eldoret National Polytechnic is also an institution that has been here for a very long time. It has been there, continued to churn out cohorts each and every other year. That is very critical in this country. And even as we speak right now, we find that the TVETs are actually being looked at as a solution to unemployment in this country. And in terms of Eldoret Polytechnic and where you sit, how prepared are you to receive the new cohort of the CBC students who will be graduating and probably coming to institution?
Thank you for this opportunity. I want to mention that TVET is celebrating 100 years this year since its inception at Kabete Vocational Center in 1924. And as the Eldoret National Polytechnic, among other TVET institutions in this country, we have recrafted our curriculum in such a manner that now we are focusing on skills. We are no longer focusing on knowledge. We are now focusing on skills, and our curriculum is now competency-based education and training, where we want to provide the skills that are required out in the industry to give the trainees an opportunity to actually go out there and serve the industry requirements. I want to mention that our institutions are also have embraced dual training, and in this dual training, it is a 50-50 arrangement where the trainees are 50% in our institutions and 50% in the industry. This gives them an edge in terms of meeting the industry requirements, and hence, as we celebrate these 100 years, we are saying that TVET is actually the key, the master key to the needs of this country in terms of employment. And I would want to attest that we are ready to receive the CBC because our curriculum has been recrafted, and we have even done retooling of our trainers with the support of the Kenya School of TVET.
And I come to you, Hilary, from Nova now. Nova Pioneer is also sitting in Eldoret town, and someone would want to ask, why Eldoret?
Thank you, Dennis. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mr. Hilary Toom. I serve as the school leader at Nova Pioneer Eldoret Boys. We have two schools in one, Nova Pioneer Eldoret Boys, having a student population of about 240, and Nova Pioneer Eldoret Girls, having a student population of about 256. Now, to your question, Dennis, why Eldoret? Now, if you look at the geographical situation of Eldoret, you'll find that it's actually almost like at a central point. And neighboring towns like Nakuru, Kericho, Kisumu, Kakamega, Bungoma, Kitale, most of them really, you find Eldoret is like a central point. So for us as an institution, we find ourselves placed in Eldoret, and it is really serving us very well because we are able to serve students from all over. We have students who come all the way from Nairobi. They enjoy the environment in Eldoret, the learning environment, which is very cool. They really appreciate it. We have students coming from as far as Kampala, Uganda. We have quite a number. And they really enjoy the Eldoret climate. They find the Eldoret food enjoyable, the learning environment very well. Eldoret is also very accessible. With Eldoret International Airport, we have families who prefer to have their children fly in. Whenever we have our meetings, our directors also fly in. In terms of the road network, it's also very good. So Eldoret being a central point serves us very well in terms of accessibility and the reach within which we are able to get to the school. Beyond that, within the education space, like the CEC has already mentioned, Eldoret is an education hub. Apart from that, it's also a health hub, and you'll be able to see that if you look at the other sector, which is the health. But talking about education today, right from the areas that the CEC manages, the ECDs, to the ones that we manage, to the ones that Professor manages, you'll find that there is a very nice niche within which all of us are able to work together and they fit into each other. So with that in mind, it places us at a very good place as a school.
Yeah, and also it is at a time when Eldoret is becoming a city. I'll be keen to see how that will improve on your numbers, but that a little bit later. And now, when I see, as we talk about education now, still going back to private, to public institutions, and the county is providing school meals to students, and also nutrition and milk and the nutrition value is also important for these school-going children. And in terms of how that has translated to numbers in school, what would you have to tell the audience today as to why the county is investing in food and nutrition to students, and how that has improved the numbers of children, parents sending their students to their children to school?
Thank you very much, Dennis. Remember, we are dealing with the young ones whose age allows them to grow. They have not acquired the full growth. And therefore, when you look at the homes where we come from, we don't have all the sufficient foodstuffs equally. And as a county, we decided to have the feeding program so that, one, we can be able to retain these children in the learning institutions, because some of the children have been absconding school just because they lack meals in their homes, and some of the parents have been requesting these children to go for maybe contracts to look for food materials. Number two, when this program was introduced, we have realized a very high increase in terms of enrollments in our ECT classes. I want to amaze you by saying that the bordering schools with our counties, like for example, the counties that border with Uasin Gishu, have had problems because the children from other counties now have decided to join our ECT classes in Uasin Gishu, having been attracted by the provision of the food that we give as a county. When this program started, the enrollment was very low. As we speak right now, we are operating at around 40,000 learners in our ECD. This is because of the feeding program. Something that, again, I want to mention in this session is that when this feeding program was introduced, when you observe the health of these children physically, they have improved. They are equally doing well. And of course, they don't miss coming to school.
You know, where there's food, they just have to be healthy. There is no otherwise. At the end of the day, they just have to look good, because also the county is in that. I think that is something up your sleeve that we should celebrate as a country, pretty much. And Prof, now here is a question where now there is value addition that you are doing on the food that the county is buying and giving to these school-going children. And this also goes to pretty much speak on the role of the education institutions and their contribution to the country. From where you sit, universities are there to go into R&I, research and innovation and development as well, and therefore contributing to the country. So how critical is, say, University of Eldoret and its contribution to the country as a whole?
Well, as a university, we are very lucky because we came from Moi University. We were a campus, the first campus of Moi University. But interestingly, you know, we were the science campus of Moi University. And so we remained intact when we became a fully fledged university in 2013. And so we are having those very old and all the professors and the facilities which were there remained in our university. And this is covering all the major areas, like the first department that came here, which was forestry, which came from Nairobi University, is the one that came to start Moi University. It's based in our university. The first School of Environmental Studies is based in our university. The first departments of fisheries and aquatic sciences, all the natural resources, courses of wildlife and etc. And so that has made us to have a very strong background and also to contribute very effectively to this nation. And normally, maybe I would like to highlight that as a University of Eldoret, we trust and believe in nurturing leaders. And of course, we have nurtured leaders all through. And our education system within our university, we start from ECD, you'll be surprised, because the university is sponsoring an ECD, and we are also sponsoring a primary school, University of Eldoret Primary School. We also have University of Eldoret Secondary School, where we are giving back to the university because we don't want to be in this region, and yet the children of our neighbors are not going to the university. So we try to provide the best for them, and CC would agree with me that they perform very well, so that we have a lot of them going to the university. Now, come to the university, we have all those programs from diploma, bachelor's, and postgraduate, master's, and PhD. But our graduates, as you can see, right now, there are several niches that we are very predominant. Take agriculture, for example. Most of our graduates are leading in different places in agriculture. Take, for example, fisheries. All the research institutions in fisheries, those who are leading them, like Kenya Marine and Fisheries, all their centers are being led by our students. All the counties, I don't think there's any single county in this country which does not have our alumni in fisheries. Because, we were the first to do that. To start that course in fisheries. Similarly to wildlife, we have so many of our people in wildlife management. And across the board, even come to education, we also the leading in education technology. So when you talk of even TVETs, the leaders in TVETs, even right now, I think the chairman of TVETA is one of us. Chairman of TVETA SIDAC, that is concerned with the curriculum, is also our product. And we have produced trained people for the PhD level to serve Moi University and other several universities. So our alumni are well spread and doing a very great job, both here in Eldoret City and the entire country. And it will be interesting for you to know also, even at the university level, most of the universities, the people who started those universities came from our campus, as small as it was. The first VC of Masinda Maliro University was from us. The VC of Karatina was from us. The VC Masai Mara was from us. The VC of Pwani was from us. Now, all those, even currently, the VC of Kabianga. So we are in the process, or rather in the business of producing leaders. In political, from the political point of view, just to conclude, the DG Elgeyo Marakwet is ours. Then the DG Nandi is also ours. So that is why our goal is producing leaders and innovators. Thank you.
Yeah. And Prof, there's one thing that University of Eldoret took from people in this town, which is, where are you going? Chep Koilel. And but once UOE came in and it became, now I'm going to UOE, which is a great thing. You're also feeding into the society as well. And now I come to you, Coach. Now, Coach, he's spoken about TVETs and the contribution to that, and that is where you sit. Which then I would go to ask the question, which would be in terms of just liaising with the universities, TVET transition from TVET to university. If there are any plans from your end in making that transition to be smooth.
Thank you. We currently have a credit accumulation transfer system, popularly known as CATS, which actually allows the universities at their level to recognize and acknowledge the competencies that may have been acquired prior in the diploma programs or the certificate programs. So indeed, there is room for our trainees to transition to the higher levels seamlessly, where the universities actually appreciate that these candidates already have some skills that they have acquired. I also want to mention that with the competence-based education and training, our focus is now mainly on particular skills, where we no longer look at the curriculum as a 3-year, 2-year program. We are looking at specific skills, which the universities also acknowledge. And you will notice that at the university levels, they also have they also provide TVETs training in recognition of what we do as the TVET institutions. We currently have 2-3 technical universities that also provide a higher level of what the TVETs provide.
Yeah, and Tum, you talked about CBC, and from the private sector, what is your view of CBC?
Thank you, Dennis. Probably before I answer your question, I also let Prof know that I'm also a beneficiary of Chepkoilel campus, the School of Science, and I really appreciate the kind of training they gave us.
Yeah.
Now, to CBC, I would say for a very long time, Nova Pioneer has been doing CBC the right way.
Yes.
Even with our high school level, the mode of teaching and instruction and learning, I would say, is really geared towards the CBC. And looking at my young learners in grade 7 and grade 8, because we were able to pick the junior secondary, and seeing the kind of experience that they're getting, I would really say that CBC is really very good. It gives them the skills, the knowledge, the values, and everything else that they really need to be able to succeed in the current world. I know there are challenges out there in terms of implementation and all that, but it is a very good program. If you come to Nova and look at the Nova Pioneer kind of education, one, we say it is inquiry-based, meaning all our teachers, we know we prepare them. As they go to class, they prepare what is known as a 5E lesson plan. And looking at it, much of it is what is the learner going to do? And when we go in as the coaches to go and observe our teachers, we really want to see what the learner is doing. We want to hear the learner's voice. We want to see what the learner is able to do. Part of what we also do, apart from inquiry-based of learning, is project-based kind of learning. And at the end of every term, we look at the assessment of the learners. What have they been able to prepare? For information, our learners are able to prepare, they do research, they prepare the PowerPoints, they're able to present in front of their peers, and you're able to award assessment scores for that kind of thing that they do. Beyond that, there is the aspect of the digital literacy, which is also part of what CBC really advocates. And I know, despite the many challenges that are out there, if you come to our space, we'll be able to see that we have really incorporated a lot of that in terms of what we are doing with our learners. So my prayer is that, apart from the private sector that probably seems to be doing very well, may we as a government, may we as a people also focus a lot on what we are doing as far as CBC is concerned. I must appreciate that there's a lot that is going on. Principal here has talked about the retooling. I know there's that aspect that is going on with the teachers and all that. And basically just to ensure that they are ready for CBC. I know the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development is also doing a lot in terms of preparing the curriculum and so on. As we speak right now, we are reviewing the grade 10 curriculum, giving our feedback and all that. And so I want to believe that it is actually preparing the learners for the current world. We are living in a highly technological world that is dynamic, ever-changing, and we must be able to prepare our learners to be relevant in that space. And I would say CBC is the way to go. For us, even before CBC came in, We're already doing
You're
it.
already on CBC.
Exactly.
And when I see they've talked about matters to do with retooling and provision of services, going digital and all that. And the county equally is doing a lot towards that light. That is providing educational materials for the students. You'd find also providing projectors for the students. And in terms of just investments into education from the county perspective, where are we playing at?
Thank you very much. Dennis, as a county, now that we are almost completing the construction of classrooms and the provision of learning materials, now the next level we have embarked on in our budget allocation in the subsequent financial years is to provide the internet and, of course, improve this learning, going the e-learning. Already, as we speak, we have some partners who are ready to work with us as a county. Some already, we have signed some MOUs so that they will assist the county in the provision of the computers, and of course, we start roll out the e-learning. Something else that we are doing is that the classrooms we do construct at the moment, we consider the aspect of e-learning so that we make this as the way to go by the county. I want to say that comparatively, if you look at the kind of children we are handling at the moment with the children that were taught some 10 years ago, there is a very big difference because at the moment as we speak, we have learners who are acquainted with the gadgets. They are able to read. They can do their homework in certain identified schools. We already have some model schools that we have identified as a county so that they assist us as we roll out the program.
And yes, indeed, education remains being the backbone of this country. And here in Eldoret, they say it is an education hub tomorrow. President William Ruto is conferring the status to become a city. How will that change? How prepared will we continue in ensuring that these students are ready for the international market? That is the conversation that we continue with after this short commercial break. Don't go too far.